Hey everybody, so I was inspired. Let me explain. I don't know a lot of y'all who like to watch TikTok, but something just recently went viral. Who the F did I marry? I know that everybody watched that pretty much, unless you lived under a rock. It became so viral that the lady who created the Who Did I Get Married series um was on like Good Morning America. She was on a lot of morning talk shows talking about her experience. Within her sharing her 50 parts of being married to a narcissist that totally shook her world up, she encouraged other women to tell their story. I guess that's why I feel like now that I am where I am in my journey of healing from the narcissistic abusive relationship that I was in for, it went on for almost 2 years, you guys, but I was technically only in the relationship with the person for 6 months. We actually lived together and it became super toxic and very tumultuous. And I was told back then not to antagonize this person or give life or attention to this person by speaking up and telling my story. Thinking about it and experiencing the whole series, 50-part series on TikTok, it has encouraged me to tell my story. I don't feel like me opening my mouth and telling what happened to me is giving life to that individual, or is it giving them attention? I feel like it's a part of my healing experience and I want to share it with everybody. Hold on, you guys, I have a call. Okay, you guys, I'm sorry about that. Trying to get comfortable again. But like I was saying, um Risa Tisa was the young lady on TikTok that shared her story. And so it did definitely inspire me to want to share mine. I was stating before I got interrupted by that phone call that I was told, with a narcissist, you don't want to give them attention. You don't want to speak on them because it can get violent, it can get very bad. Um, I spoke out in the past because my abuser actually went went to social media, and we're going to talk about that in one of the parts too, you guys. This is a long series for me. I'm hoping I can get it all down. I hope that it doesn't take more than 50 parts, but you guys, I went through some things, okay? Some really crazy things. I do want to give a trigger warning. There will be conversations about death, about grief, about sexual assault. There will be conversations about verbal and physical abuse. Um, it gets tough. So, I don't want to be all over the place. I try my best to be super informative, and I am going to have like notes so that I can stay on task and tell you guys the most important things so you guys know exactly what I went through in that relationship. I honestly like to call it a situationship at this point because me in my mind, I was thinking that I was actually in a relationship with this person, and this person really just use me. Um, a lot of you who know me know that I had an amazing union for 10 years with a lovely young lady. She was the one who introduced me to this community and these dolls. I had a lot of problems with um, childbirth and being pregnant. I'm very grateful that I was able to give birth to 3 children. I get that question a lot on here, you guys. Yes, I'm the one who carried all my kids. My wife was not. I have three healthy, amazing children. I have a 22-year-old son who resides in West Hollywood, California. I also have two gorgeous and amazing daughters. My oldest daughter is 19. She graduated from high school last year. And my youngest daughter is 17, and she will actually be graduating from high school in the fall early. So I'm very, very proud of her. We're very, very proud of her. My children have been through a lot since they've lost their other mother, which was my wife. And they have just overcame so many things, and I'm so, so thankful and grateful to the Most High that my children continue to persevere through all of the things that they've been through in a few years since we have lost my spouse. Y'all, sorry, I'm still trying to get comfortable. So, I lost my spouse, and I was grieving, you guys. I was grieving heavily. I didn't know which way was which. I didn't know where I was going. I lost a lot of weight. Um, Drinking became a thing, heavily became a thing. Um, Everything reminded me of her. Of course, that's expected, but it was just like I was so angry and so hurt. Um, Not only dealing with her loss, my loss of her, but also grief changes people, period. And it changed her family. And I thought that they loved me and my children. But I seen a different side of these individuals once my wife passed away, especially her mother. Um, she put me through the ringer. Some of the things were public. Excuse me. I did make them public because money was involved. Money was stolen. Money was mishandled and used for wrong things. GoFundMe's were made unbeknownst to me. I didn't have any control over any of the things that were going on because I never dealt with that situation. I was not in my right mind. I was not, and I was fully taken advantage of by my wife's family. I had to go through court hearings. It got bad, you guys, and I don't even want to bring up all that situation and really go into detail of that, but because of all those things going on at one time, I kind of was out of my mind. I'm not even going to hold you. I was going through it. I was going through it severely. I was severely depressed. It took a lot for me to even look at myself in the mirror or even get out the bed. Okay. Um, the most important person to me at the time, well, the most important people were my children, but because that saying goes, if you're not good, you can't be good for anybody else. I literally, my mom, and I thank her for this. She's the one who basically snapped me out of my trance. Not fully, but enough for me to realize that I needed to get up and do something. She encouraged me to do the things that I enjoyed doing, not to take away from her memory, but to keep my mind off of everything. Like I was going crazy. Um, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just getting a little emotional when I think about her. It's not about the situation with this person because this person means nothing, nothing to me at all. Um, I don't know. Those of you who have been around for a long time know how much my wife meant to me. She still does, even though she's not here. But she changed my life in so many ways. You guys, y'all just don't understand. But my mom was like, "You need to do the things that you love to do because I know that she would want you to be happy and just do things to make you happy, if even if it's one little small thing at a time." This hobby has brought me so much joy, and it has changed. If you go back and you look at my videos, you can see the progression, you know, of like what stages of my life that I was going through. I've been very transparent most of the time um on my channel. You know, if I'm for you, I'm for you. I've always said that. If I'm not, I'm not. No hard feelings. So, I started to get more back into my dolls, and sorry, y'all, I keep coughing. When I started to go back on Facebook and be in doll groups, I met an individual that was having a meetup for her dolls, or for people to come together in the doll community. I'm not going to disclose where this person really lives, but those of y'all who know, y'all know. I'm just going to say they're from Alabama. Um, so she was traveling from Alabama with a group of her friends and family that also lived in Alabama. She was coming down for her birthday in July, and she wanted to do a doll meetup because she said she had did one in the past and it had turned out really well, and she wanted to do another one. So I decided to jump on board, and pour myself into that to keep my mind off of things. She said she needed help, and because she wasn't from here, I was willing to help her, because I felt like if I was just putting myself into a project so I could just kind of, like I said, keep my mind off of stuff. So I was supposed to be in charge of the games. There were several women um, that I can remember. It was about 10 of us, but it could have been more. We frequently had conversations through Facebook Messenger. Um, Me and this individual alone, we would talk about things for the actual meetup, and then we would have group chats or messages where everybody would be on Messenger together having a conversation about how things were going to go for the meetup. So they had a whole little itinerary going on. The plan in the beginning was for us to go to Copeland's. You guys, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but it's like a Cajun restaurant. It's very upscale, so it's a little bit on the pricey side. Now they do have a room in there where you can, like a banquet room, where you can rent it out and have like a party or a function or whatever the case may be. So she was looking into that, and we decided to do it like buffet style, because that's how it was with the banquet room, and that we were going to do choices for people who, ate seafood, ate meat, restricted diet, that type of thing, so that everybody would equally have something to enjoy during this meal. So the cap was $50. So everybody sent in their money for that, and then we were talking about, like, I was still going over like what we were going to do as far as games and prizes, so that I could have that all situated, because that was what I was in charge of. We found out that this individual, and you guys, for the sake of not, like I said, naming names, I'm going to call this individual that I was in the relationship with, her name is Kesha. We're going to call her Kesha. Kesha, I'm just going to come a little bit closer. Kesha had an at the time, she didn't explain to us what was going on with her medically. We just knew that she had seizures. So that's what we were told. We weren't explain. It wasn't explained on why she has seizures. It wasn't explained if she had epilepsy. Any of that, we didn't know any of that. All we knew is that she had seizures. Um, so there would be times where we couldn't get a hold of her because she had had a seizure, and so her sister, and we're gonna call the sister Alicia. Um, she had two sisters. So one of them is Alicia, which was the oldest sister. And then the youngest sister, we're going to call her Respucia. So Alicia would contact us and tell us, hey, Keisha's not feeling well. She's had a seizure, or she's had several seizures, which was very concerning. And so we're going to have to hold off on, making more plans. Just give her a couple of days to recuperate, and you'll hear from her again. And sure enough, it did happen that way each time. It would be a few days before we would hear from her, and then we would hear from her again. Um, Once we heard from her, everything went back to, business as usual. We didn't think anything of it. Now, this is important and a key part of this series and of this story, you guys. So make sure that you put a mental pin that Kesha had seizures. Okay. So she finally got back to everybody, and she was like distraught, and we were trying to understand what was going on. And she explained to us that uh, Copeland's were no longer going to honor their price that they quoted us about getting the banquet room and getting the meal. So she's going to have to refund everybody their money. No big deal. Nobody had a problem with that. You guys also remember that everybody got refunded their money. So I'm so sorry, you guys. So I think I'm coming down with something. Honestly, I think it's allergies because it is that season and it's thick and heavy outside. So we're getting closer to the time for the event to happen, and I'm back and forth with myself. You guys, I'm battling so many demons mentally. I'm grieving hard. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I could be around people. Hell, I'm an introvert anyway, so I don't even like being around people, to be honest with y'all. I people a lot more now than I did back then because I kind of broke out of my shell, but still, after a while, I have to, because I am an introvert and also an Aquarius. I have to recharge. So I do enjoy going out and doing things with like-minded people, but sometimes, y'all, after a while, it's like my drain battery is low, and I just gotta kind of, you know, stay to myself and recharge. So I'm going back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth, and it's the day before the actual meetup. We were supposed to meet at a mall here in Atlanta. Um, that was like day number 3. I know they had a whole like week of events going on, but I at the time I had went back to work, and I couldn't go to the rest of the events. I could only do the weekend one, which was the mall meetup. So I was going back and forth battling with myself about if I should go or not. And like my mom, like I said, she was pushing me, pushing me, pushing me. She was like, you should go. Just go. Have a good time. If you don't feel up to it anymore when you get there, just, go home. It's no big deal. So, I had my mom drop me off at the mall, and I should have known that it wasn't gonna be a good that like God was sending me a sign not to deal with this individual. Uh I literally spilled like my entire mango dragon fruit refresher with lemonade from Starbucks like all over the place. Getting out the car, getting my stroller together and everything. So I had to clean off my shoes. I had some Nike up tempos on. I'm a sneakerhead, y'all. So if you know, you know, those are very expensive shoes. So like I'm freaking out about my shoes. My mom's telling me to calm down, take a deep breath. It's not that deep. Just go into this mall. So it is like COVID, of course. I had a mask on. Um, I went inside, and there was like a lobby area where I could see a bunch of people with dolls. So I was like, okay, this is where everybody is. And it got super quiet and super awkward when I walked in there. Um, I recognized a few of the people, and then I seen Keisha. So me and Keisha, we greeted each other, we hugged each other. Like I said, it was her birthday trip, so I did tell her happy birthday. Um, Everybody was smitten with Akiri, you guys, my toddler, because that's who I brought with me, and we were dressed alike. So everybody thought that that was super cute. Um, I am a very I try to, I don't like to go anywhere empty handed. Now, mind you, we did agree to do a gift exchange. So I had gift exchange things for the doll meetup, but it was also Keisha's birthday. So I didn't know what she liked and I wanted to get her something. So I had explained that to her. I did have a personalized card though, and I told her, like, since we're in the mall, do you know of something that one of these stores that you would like to go in and purchase something? My treat, because it is your birthday. I just want to, get you something for your birthday. And she was very surprised about that. And like, Keisha was like the most sweetest, nicest person, you guys. Me and this chick used to talk on the phone for hours about dolls, about, like she would pray with me, she would send me scripture, she would send me words of affirmations, all of that during my grieving process. Like I really thought that this girl was my friend. So she was really shocked that I, actually decided to treat her to a gift. There was a Bath and Body Works in the mall, so we went in there, and she picked out a couple of things they were having a sale or whatever. So I purchased the things for her, and then I dropped the personalized card in there with the gifts that I bought her, and I gave it to her. She was really touched by the card and like really appreciated everything, and like the vibe was just so cool. I met a lot of different reborn moms with their babies, and it was just really nice. We were walking around the mall, going into different stores and things like that. We were waiting for our table to get ready next door, which was where the Cheesecake Factory was, because that's where we were going to have dinner. So, also, you guys, I do suffer from anxiety, especially social. So I kept having to take breaks in and out of being there with everyone. Um, like I said, I met Keisha's family. I found out later that these people weren't really related to her, nor did they adopt her, which was a story that I was told also later. They were just friends. One of the girls were actually her friend, and then her family decided to take her in. So Keisha and Alicia and Respucia were not real sisters. They also came in town from Alabama with Alicia's girlfriend. And also there was another individual um, that I met named Austin. They were trans, and they introduced themselves to me as Keisha's boyfriend. Um, there were also a couple of other people that I met later on at her Airbnb, but we'll get into that later. So now it's the women from the meetup. It's Alicia, Respucia, Keisha, Alicia's girlfriend, and Austin. So I think it was about at that point 17 of us that ended up going to Cheesecake Factory, and I was uncomfortable with everybody but Keisha because I didn't really know anybody like that, and I didn't know her personally either, you guys, but I felt more comfortable being around her. So I wanted to sit by her when we ate, but they made, like, I don't know. While I went to the bathroom, everybody changed like their seating arrangement on everyone was where everyone was going to sit. So I ended up sitting at the end of the table. Um, I sat. across the way from Alicia and Alicia's girlfriend. Now, Alicia and Austin sat on this side of me, so to the left of me. Kesha was on the right side at the end of the table, far away from me. So I was a little bit on the anxious side. Now, Alicia had been heavily flirting with me the entire time that we were there at the mall. She went with me in the store H&M, and she had a wardrobe malfunction. So her spaghetti strap on the outfit she had, it broke. And so she had to kind of get that makeshift it and fix it or whatever. Um she explained to me, like, out of the blue. I didn't even really, I wasn't, asking about her life or anything. She told me that she had a girlfriend, and this is before I met her girlfriend, and that her girlfriend was older and she was boring, and they kind of had like an open relationship where she could see other people. And I'm just looking at her side eyeing her like, why are you telling me all of this? Like, I don't care. But I mean, I was being nice and cordial and listening to her conversation. So when we got to the restaurant, it was heavily known that Alicia was into me. I was not into Alicia at all. Um, I was very uncomfortable sitting in front of her and her girlfriend while she continuously flirted with me. It was ridiculous, you guys. And you could see it was written all over her girlfriend's face that her girlfriend was not having it. But I had ended up, ordering, and I ordered a Beyond Burger. You guys, I don't eat meat. So it was really good, and it was fun because we had a lot of conversation and banter going back and forth around the table. And once everybody finished eating, we decided to do karaoke. So we're in the middle of Cheesecake Factory, you guys, and it was so fun. Everybody was would start off with a song. So whoever started off with the song, everybody at the table had to finish the song, and then we would finish the song together. So the last song that we ended up doing was the remake of Before I Let Go or Let You Go. I don't even know who sings that. I'm gonna put it on the screen here somewhere, but Beyonce remade it. So that was the last song we ended with, you guys, and I kid y'all not. The whole entire Cheesecake Factory, from all the other customers and some of the waitresses, was singing with us while we were on our way outside of the Cheesecake Factory. That was like so memorable, and that was such a good time. And it really did that did take my mind off a lot at that time. Once we ended up finishing dinner, reality snapped back in, and I kind of took a step away from everything. Y'all, I just seen something move over here, and I'm the only one in this room. But I noticed it was my book bag from work. It tipped over on the floor. Ooh, y'all. But anyway, so reality set back in, and I started to feel bad. I started to cry, so I kind of went away from the group by myself, and Keisha ended up finding me. We ended up trying to have a conversation, but everybody was like smothering me at this point. We were at another restaurant that had a bar that was nearby. I was about to get a drink, but then I just couldn't focus at all. Like, I was just so, like, it was just too many people and just so many thoughts. It was intrusive. I was just like, no, I gotta get out of here. I need some air. So I went outside, and Alicia was like, are you going to be okay? And I was like, I'm going to be fine. I just need some air. Y'all can stay in here. I'll be right back. So I guess I was outside for way too long because Keisha ended up coming out there, and we sat on a bench. And I remember she took off her shoes, um, and she just poured her heart out to me, about grief in her life and losing her grandmother and how that felt and what she went through. And we kind of bonded, and I was crying and she cried with me. And I just really felt like, that was like a moment. Like, it was like, wow, like this person really genuinely cares about me and they just met me. Um, Huge red flag, you guys. Huge red flag. So I was already being groomed at this point. Um, I was already being love bombed. And I didn't recognize it because I was, grieving. And so we sat out there for hours, and I finally told her, like, I'm feeling a little bit better. I kind of felt a little embarrassed. So I told her I would be back, and I ended up getting the Uber and going home. Um, she was looking for me, and she ended up texting me, and I told her, I'm okay. I decided to go home. Maybe we should get, together later since you're still going to be in town for a little while. And she invited me to come to her Airbnb the next day. And I told her, yeah, cool. She said, I'm going to cook dinner. So, come by. I want you to come by. We got alcohol and we're going to play like dominoes and spades and everything like that. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, sure. I'll stop by. Just shoot me the address. So she shot me the address, and it's getting long, you guys. So I think I'm going to stop here. Um, I am wanting to tell this entire story, and I hope you guys are in for the ride while I share with you guys who the F did I make a baby doll with.